guys, welcome to another brand new episode.
And the first section that I'm going to do with you, as you can read the name carefully, the physical quantities, units, and measurement techniques, although there are two chapters from the syllabus, I will be considering them as one as I teach you this concept of physical quantities. Now, let's kick off. First of all, what is a physical quantity? It's any quantity that can be measured. A type of physical quantity is a base quantity, and what is a base quantity? Please note that it is a quantity that cannot be split further into simpler quantities. So a base quantity is a quantity which cannot be split any further into simpler quantities. I'll give you an example. For example, you've got length, you've got mass, you've got time, you've got temperature, you've got amount of a substance, you've got light intensity, and you have electric current. So all of these quantities are called base quantities, and their units I will write in front. Let me just make this table for you. The unit for length is meter, as you all know. So we'll just write it down in front. The length for unit is meter. The unit for length is meter. The unit for mass is kilogram. The unit for time is second. For temperature, it is Kelvin, capital K. Amount of substance is mole, MOL. Light intensity is candela, CD, and electric current, the unit is ampere. One thing which you must note is that a couple of these quantities have units in caps lock. So if you look at temperature, you look at light intensity, you look at electric current. The reason why I'm highlighting them for you is so you ensure that the units are in caps. At least the first letter is in caps. For the rest, they're in small normal font, but for these three particular quantities, they are in caps, so make sure that you don't put them in small. Now, I have to mention the significance of this particular quantity, electric current. A lot of kids make a mistake over here. Usually what the mistake that they make is they forget to write the word electric, and they simply say the unit for current is ampere. Now that is wrong, because what is current? Current is the disturbance in a medium. I'm sure you've experienced water currents. I'm sure you've experienced air currents. They're all currents, but does water current have a unit of ampere? No. Does air current have a unit of ampere? No. So you're talking, when you say ampere as a unit, you're talking of a specific quantity which is electric current and not just current. Remember this, electric current का unit ampere है, current का unit ampere नहीं है. But for now, for convenience argument, whenever I use the word current, I will mean electric current. So that should be in your mind, but you should know that actually the term is electric current. Now, why do we call them base quantities? That should be the question in your mind. So let's say I take this length of any object and I say that the length is 15 meters, for example. Now you break it from the center. You've got two pieces of this object. Because you've broken from the center, you get 7.5 and you get 7.5. Question, what is the unit? Is it meter? The answer is yes. You break them, you break one of them again from the center, you get two smaller chunks. Again, what you note is that the number keeps on changing. It will be 3.25, 3.25, but meter remains the same. So, point being that a base quantity cannot be split further. What you mean by that is that if the length is 15 meters, when you break it down, it'll go down to meters. It won't suddenly turn into kgs. ये नहीं होगा कि यहाँ पर आप कहो जी length 15 meters है, नीचे तोड़ा उसको तो 7.5 second निकल आए. That's not going to happen. Yeah, one thing could happen, that as you keep on breaking it down, 3.25 meter को और तोड़ा, आपको आगे जी सेंटीमीटर आना शुरू हो गया. Centi is again a number. Alright, I'm talking of the unit. the unit is meter, and that is not going to change. I hope that is clear. So let's say you let's take another example, that I have this bag and the bag's mass is 10 kg. I half it and the mass that I end up getting is 5 kgs. I break it down further, करते जाओ, you end up getting 100 grams, and then you end up saying कि जी ये तो चेंज हो गया. नहीं, ये देखें कि ग्राम जो है वो ग्राम में ही रह रहा है, वो ग्राम में ही रह रहा है. Kilo again is just a number. So why don't we write grams over here instead of mass ke aage? Why don't we write grams and why do we write kilograms? Because we're following the SI system. But what you need to know is that ये नहीं होगा कि वो किलोग्राम से टूटता टूटता भी नीचे आके एम्पेयर बन जाए. So 100 ampere निकल आए suddenly from 10 kilograms. No, that doesn't happen. So that is what we mean by a base quantity. Alright, awesome. So now we're going to discuss another type of physical quantity, which is called a derived quantity. Now, a derived quantity is formed due to some manipulation of the base quantities. So derived quantity is formed due to some manipulation of base quantities. So base quantities को आप लो multiply करो या divide करो दो quantities को उस table में से. So you end up getting something which is called a derived quantity. For example, if from that table I pick up length and I pick up time and I divide them, now I have something new. And you know what this is. This is speed. So speed is a derived quantity. Why? Because अगर आप speed को तोड़ोगे तो उसमें से दो चीजें निकल आएंगी. एक मीटर निकल आएगा और एक सेकंड निकल आएगा. So it is not a base quantity. Base quantity, if you keep on breaking it, you get the same quantity over and over again. But if you break up speed, you get two things. You get meters and you get seconds, so you get meter per second. Now, actually that reminds me that you've definitely seen this device before, and moreover, you've definitely seen this app inside, which is basically Google Maps or any other app that you're using. And it's using a system which is called GPS. Now, GPS is also consuming physics completely. Why? Because now you're estimating, this app is basically estimating your speed, it's calculating the distance, and it's going to estimate the time that it'll take you to get from one point to another point. So you understand how important physics is and how important derived quantities are. Alright, carrying on. So the second quantity that I want to talk to you about is acceleration. Now acceleration again is defined as change in velocity over time. Velocity का symbol होता है v. So change in velocity का यूनिट होगा ms minus 1 और time का यूनिट होगा second. So ये बन जाएगा ms minus 2. By the way, all of this analysis that we are doing right now is called base unit analysis. So ये सारा analysis जो आप करोगे और इसके बहुत सारे questions हैं in the exam, it's called base unit analysis, because all the symbols, all the units that you are observing right now in over here, they're all from that table. So remember, whenever they ask you for base unit analysis, the units have to be from the table that we just made some time ago. Which table am I talking of? I'm talking of this table over here, ये वाला table. So this is the table from where we're getting all of our quantities. So if I ask you for base unit analysis, I want all units from here and nothing from anywhere else. Alright, let's move back and get back into what we were doing. So acceleration हो गया, speed हो गया. The third quantity is, for example, force. Now force is defined as ma. Instantly you will identify that the unit is Newton, but ask yourself, have you seen that unit in the table? You haven't, right? So that means Newton is not the answer that we're looking for. We're looking for the base unit analysis. I'm repeating, we are looking for the base unit analysis. So उसमें गड़बड़ आपने बिल्कुल नहीं करनी. बेस यूनिट एनालिसिस का मतलब ये है कि आप आइडेंटिफाई करो कि m का यूनिट क्या होगा. m का यूनिट होगा kg, एक्सेलरेशन का यूनिट होगा मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. So it'll be kg ms minus 2. I'll just do one more example and then we'll move on to our next topic. The next quantity that I will discuss with you is potential difference. Potential difference is defined as work done per unit charge. Work done per unit charge. Now, work is force into distance, charge is current into time. So, what you end up doing is just plug in the base units and you will be done with the base unit analysis. Force का unit आपने ये already निकाला हुआ है kg ms minus 2, so just plug it there. Distance का unit is meter, current ampere, time seconds. So simplify, you get kg m square. Now s की पावर 1 है, ये ऊपर जाएगा -2 के साथ आएगा तो s -3 हो जाएगा और a -1 हो जाएगा. So remember that you have to give your answer in the most simplified form, and you also have to make sure that all units are in the numerator. There's nothing in the denominator. You have to give it in the most simplified form, and please don't make a mistake of making the wrong indices. ये ampere denominator में ऊपर जाएगा तो ampere -1 होगा. अब इस तरह you can find a million questions in the exams. Make sure you attempt them because the more you practice, the better you will get at it. And also one more thing, you will not be given these formulas. For example, अगर आपको ये वाला formula नहीं आता तो पेपर में आपको ये given नहीं होगा. Please ensure that you remember all of the formulas by heart. They will give you formulas for nothing at all when they're asking you for a question on Bayesian analysis, because all the formulas will be from your particular syllabus. Alright, great. Another topic that I want to hit with you today is the concept of homogeneity of an equation. So what is homogeneity? Homogeneity basically means that the units on the left hand side must be equal to the units on the right hand side. That is what we mean by homogeneity. Now, just to give you a quick example, अगर मैं यहाँ पे एक बिल्कुल basic example लूँ, that I have a length of 5 centimeters and 5 centimeters is equals to 3 plus 2. And I ask you that please tell me that if this is 5 centimeters, what is the unit for 3? Instantly you should answer that the unit for 3 is centimeters and the unit for 2 is centimeter. That's why 3 centimeter plus 2 centimeter is 5 centimeters. I hope that makes sense. If somebody says nahi ji, ये तो 2 centimeter है, ये 2 centimeter नहीं है, ये 2 seconds है, how can you add centimeters to seconds and get centimeters? So it's actually that simple, that the units on the left hand side of the equation must be equal to the units on the right hand side of the equation. Alright, so just as an example, I give you an equation जिसका मैं आपको बताता नहीं हूँ what is on the left hand side, okay? But I tell you that on this side, the equation is 2 pi into under root of L over G. Now, you will get questions of these sort. You've not seen the formula before if you're an AS. So how do you solve it? Don't panic, because you know how to solve it. All you will do is you will identify what L is. They will tell you in the question. They will also tell you what G is. They put an under root on top. Do not forget that. 2 pi is just a number. What you will do is you'll just substitute the units for these quantities and it will simplify into something and you will be able to identify what this is. Let's have a look. So L in the question is given to you as length and G is given to you as gravitational acceleration. जिसकी value Earth पे होती है 9.81 meter per second square. But again, the value does not matter. It's the unit which matters. So let's start solving. So I don't know what the quantity on the left hand side is, but I do know that 2 pi is just a number. It doesn't have any unit, so I can completely ignore it and I will bring the square root back. Now I know that the unit for length is meter, so I write meter, and the unit for gravitational acceleration is meter per second square, so I write ms minus 2. Now m and m get cancelled, so I am left with question mark is equals to under the root of, now please do not make a mistake here, this is 1 over s minus 2. So when you will take it up, it will come under the root of s squared. Now the square and the square root will get cancelled, and you are left with the unit, which is second, and second you identify the quantity. This is the question mark. The question mark was actually time. So this is the equation for time. Actually it's time period, but even if you identify it as time, that means कि आपने बिल्कुल ठीक किया है. So that's one example. I can give you another one if you want. Number 2, let's try. Question mark is equals to ut plus 1 half at square, and I tell you that u is speed and t is time and a is acceleration. I want you to pause the video and I just want you to plug in all the units and solve, and let's see what result do you get. It's okay if you don't get the right result in the first attempt, it's fine, but at least give it a try yourself. So question mark is equals to ut plus half at squared, and I'm asking you for the units for the quantity. What is the quantity in the question mark? And of course you need to know the units. So I hope you've solved it by now, and let's plug in the units. So u was speed, so the speed का unit होगा meter. Time was second, meter per second, sorry. Speed का unit meter per second होता है. Time का unit होगा second, so we write seconds. Plus 1 half, वो वैसे का वैसे ही आ गया. Acceleration का unit क्या था? Meter per second square. And what's the unit for time square? Do not forget the square. That is s square. Simplify. S and s minus 1 get cancelled. S square and s square get cancelled. So you're left with m plus 1 half of m. Again, don't be concerned about this particular half because it's just a number. यूनिट क्या था? यूनिट था मीटर. मीटर में आपने मीटर ऐड किया. मुझे ये बता दें बस कि मीटर में जब मीटर ऐड करते हैं तो चीज निकलती है, वो क्या निकलती है? केजी निकलते हैं, सेकंड निकलते हैं, क्या निकलता है? Wow, I got a little excited. So when you add meters into meters, what do you end up with? You end up getting meters. And what is meter? What is meter? Meter is a unit for distance. So this particular quantity in question mark was distance. This is the equation for distance. It's also one of the equations for motion, which we'll be studying as we go along this course. Alright, great. So again, practice as many questions as you can, and I'll see you in the next episode and we'll take it from here. Cheers.